and internationally. All right, so allow me now to introduce our first presenter, IXESROY Thomas. He holds an MBA from the University of Technology, from the University of the Caribbean, in finance and marketing. A Bachelor of Science degree in secondary teacher education, majoring in counseling, with a minor in business education from the Northern Caribbean University, supported by a diploma in education from the Church Teachers College, majoring in mathematics and business education. He currently serves as CEO of the marketing and advertising firm BDMS Solutions. And prior to this venture, he served as manager integrated marketing and merchandising at Hardware and Lumber, marketing brand coordinator at Rubis Energy Limited, and manager special service and customer service with Air Jamaica. He's known for his knowledge and experience in the areas of marketing, communication, public relations, training, and advertising. And he's described, and aptly so, as customer service provider extraordinaire. IXESROY is a trained customer service facilitator who is proud to have been coached by the renowned motivational speaker, Leslie Calvin Les Brown. What makes IXESROY truly outstanding? He believes it's his willingness to always take on a challenge and make a success of it. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome IXESROY Thomas, who will speak on the ethics and etiquette of virtual meetings, webinars, and audits. IXESROY.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I trust everybody is seeing my presentation. Francine? Seeing the slides?
Yes, go right ahead.
Wonderful. Good evening again, everybody. It's indeed my pleasure to be here and to be asked to sit on the same platform as the Minister of Finance, and then to be picked up after this by Rochelle Cameron, and then to be followed on by Mr. Chris Record. It's a very unique position to be in. It means that this is one of these positions where you just got to be delivering. And it's a very fun and interesting topic, because this topic is one of those things that a lot of us think we actually know, but we have actually had to realize and realign ourselves because of this pandemic that we came. So thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to be here and to share in this discussion with you about proper net etiquette. I mean, a lot of the things that we'll talk about here today are things that we have done, we know, some of them we see, and so some of these are just going to be fun tidbits and quick reminders of things that we need to really and truly take into consideration as we go about functioning in this virtual space. My name, as Francine said, is IXESROY Thomas. I'm a guy who people know from Air Jamaica, people know me from Rubis, hanging out on the forecourt, training my team members, working out with my teams. A very short stint I did with H&L, that's Hardware and Lumber, as manager integrated marketing and merchandising. But a lot of my strengths a lot of my time was spent in customer service as Air Jamaica, and then taking on the customer service and brand representation and the brand look and feel for the Rubis Energy Jamaica Limited brand. And so these are things that all come together that we have had to shift when it came to 2020, the year that brought us the word of the year, which was pivot. A lot of people, a lot of companies have had to do just this, change the strategy without changing the vision. So we've had to, a lot of organizations and a lot of people, I mean, myself included, have had to pivot. Started 2020 with a fantastic position at H&L and ended 2020 with a new company, a company that had to really and truly dig deep and decide that this is something that I'm going to do and I'm going to make it successful. So a lot of us have had to make a change because we have a strategy that we have to work through. And why is this important? Look at these objectives quickly. So what is the aim of this? We want to provide you with some useful tips that will actually help to impact how we deliver in the professional setting. We also want to ensure that we review some common practices related to really like online etiquette. We want to look at ethical practices that we should always try to observe. We also want to discuss some auditing techniques and of course, big thing that's happening this year in 2021, people are saying they're suffering from online fatigue. So this is something that we're going to take a little bit of look at. A lot of people will, once you're in the marketing sphere, you've done business management, you're no stranger to people, processes, and technology, this framework. This is a framework which it's a basic guide for every business, every entrepreneur, whether it's a small business, medium size, or large business. You have to understand how it is that you are going to integrate the people, the processes with the technology. A lot of us led a lot of time, in the traditional space, we found ourselves depending a lot of times on the people. The people drove the entities. It's the people that our business or customers spoke about, or customers related to how the people treated them. And even in this new environment, we're still depending on people, but we find that now there's no the change in how we have had to know and reach our customers. We're now embracing technology a whole lot more, and especially working through online. So two quick things that people have had to really and truly do since 2020, and businesses in general. As a business, you have had to learn to pay greater attention to ethics, etiquette, and audits. This is something that anybody who is succeeding in the new paradigm, this new relationship, this new normal with our customers, new relationship with our customers, understand that we have to ensure that we show them that we are ethical. We have to really and truly show them that we are dealing with them with this finesse, this etiquette, this elegance that we want them to see. And we also have to make sure that we are auditing. And, I did a training program the other day that we talked about that spoke to audits. And I had some interesting responses when we talked about online audits, how people are being online audited. But the second thing is that people have to learn that they are not quitting. People have to decide mentally that they are not going to quit, and hence the people, the processes, or use of technology, we all had to now decide on how it is that we are going to pivot. Ethics, basic definition for me: do the right thing. And we can go through the philosophical definitions of ethics about being morally good and knowing wrong from right. But listen, in the business sphere, we want ethics to always mean doing the right thing. And it's not just doing the right thing sometimes, but we all have to do the right thing all the time. And to do the right thing all the time, sometimes we just got to fight this feeling. Boy, I made it out of bed. I'm at the keyboard. What more do you want from me? Calm down. Sometimes we have to fight the feeling. We have to understand about the customers who we are going to be relating to. We have to, as a business, we have to, as individuals, always try to remember that we represent ourselves as individual brands. We represent the corporate brand that we are representing, And those customers or customer expectation is something that we have to ensure that we always make a paramount part of what we do and how we do things. A lot of us are now benefiting from working from home. I mean, and we're finding, and people will tell you that, boy, you know, you're working independently, so boy, you know, you're working with greater flexibility. You know, you can get more work done sometimes because you have more hours to play with. Sometimes the commute is short; it's your bed to the computer, and sometimes the computer is working with you in the bed right through, and you're able to access your virtual meetings quite easily. Sometimes some organizations require that you're always on camera, and this is now becoming the new normal that we're requiring people to because we want to promote that greater interaction between us and the customers, but and not every organization does. And not everybody has conformed to that as the new normal. But it also gives us a great chance to be fantastic and comfortable. I mean, I'm working from home right now. I could have really just throw on my sweats and show up. But you know, this is the Jamaica Customer Service Association, and believe me, it is all about how you are going to show up and what you're going to deliver. We get more time with our families, but there are some cons. Some of us are feeling longer working hours. We're suffering from fatigue because you have so many hours and people are your customers are reaching you from all angles. So it's not just about somebody picking up the phone and calling you. Right now, people are reaching out to you on all your social media experiences. They find your name, they want to reach IXESROY Thomas, they're going to hit me up on Twitter. They're going to hit me up on LinkedIn. They're going to find me on Instagram. And they're going to send me a message. Sometimes people send you some really long messages that you really and truly have to wonder, when will they get to the point? But people are reaching out. Lots of meetings. Some of us miss the human connection. I mean, I know I do sometimes. But when you're really and truly not in that space, there are other ways for you to connect, and we just have to make use of the technology. We all go through technology challenges, and of course, there's this high data risk that we must. So everybody understand that working from home has its challenges, but it also has its a lot of really positives about working from home. I mean, hashtag comfy socks, because you can really no shoes to put on every day, but we really and truly need to work on always getting the job done. So here are my few tips to get us started. I choose, and I always ask people to get properly dressed. Dress up, because it is not only important for the persons who are viewing you, but it's also a big part of how you build, how you relate, how you represent. It's a big part of building your own self-confidence in the delivery that you're going to do. Check the systems. I get up, and I must thank a very good friend of mine who had invested when I decided that I was going to go into my own do my own business and start delivering in a virtual space. As a gift, she got me this really nice light. So I make sure I set it up from this morning because I wanted it to pitch in a certain way I wanted. So I checked my systems, I checked my internet, got a little flustered a while ago, and my flow dropped a while ago, but these are challenges that you've got to really and truly work through. You want to learn to stick to your time. So they gave me 30 minutes, and I'm going to try to end in 30 minutes. And of course, I laid out for you what my agenda was. I gave you my objectives. I make you know exactly the direction that I want to go in, because these are important things that you need to lay out for the persons who you're going to be dealing with. And it doesn't matter if it's a one-on-one meeting. Set some sort of agenda. Lay it out for the people who you're going to be talking to, so they know. So that way you stay on script and you stay on time. Ethically, there are a couple of things that we have to be considerate about when working from home. A lot of us working in this new paradigm. I sent in an application the other day for for a company to get my GCT and for my company. And they said to me, yes, you're going to do X, Y, and Z and send these things to this email address. The email address that was that they asked me to send it to, she said she was not getting it. It was somehow it wasn't going through. She says, the young lady says, no man, just send it to this other email address, which turned out to be some sort of like a personal email. It seemed to be a company email, but it was personal. The fact of the matter is that we have to understand that in this new paradigm, things like these are going to happen. But we have to ensure that we function in a way that allows us to always understand that we need to protect the people's data. People's information has to be treated as sacred. It cannot be just that you have people's information and you let it loose. Sometimes we are in the environments where it's a shared experience. And so we have to ensure that around family members, around our friends, information come to us via WhatsApp or through an email. We have to protect people's information. Attending meetings, we need to be there on time. It is only ethical that if the company expects you to be there, the company is expecting you to represent them in a certain way. The ethical thing to do is show up, be on time. Take time out to respond to messages. Don't just take the time off and because you are not working at your desk, you decide that lunch is now 3 hours, or the best time to go to the supermarket is going to be in the middle of the day. So we're going to do the call and we're going to be in the supermarket on Zoom, and then we said, and we are not present. Be engaged. So ensure that you are present because these are ethical things. And of course, one of my big angst is that you need to tell people that you are going to be recording them. Data protection and the Data Protection Act that we have now, that's really being integrated into the Jamaican psyche, demands of us certain elements, certain considerations from a business, from a personal perspective. You have to, there's certain things that we have to do as individuals to protect not just the company, but protect yourself and protect each other. So, we want to make sure that if you're going to record the meeting, tell people that they're going to ensure that persons know the phone call is being recorded. This information we're going to record, I'm going to take a screenshot. I see people do these things all the time. And the fact of the matter is that these are persons' intellectual property that we have to protect. These are people. I remember I was on a training program with a colleague of mine, and she asked, "Is this meeting being recorded?" And she was told, "Oh yes, it's being recorded." We did not know. And these are things that ethically we have to ensure that we tell persons, we inform the parties before. Etiquette, boy, do it elegantly. And I tell people, do it with style. Ensure that the same way we would have shown up for work every single day when we put ourselves together, the face is well put together, we ensure that everything really and truly comes across well. When we are meeting our customers face to face, we have to transition into the virtual space, into our online presentations in the same way. There are a few things that I find that people we do as professionals, sometimes we neglect to do. And basic ones, we call this one jazz up. Get dressed. Dress up yourself. There's a young lady that I worked with at Air Jamaica, a fantastic woman, Marie Matthews. And let me tell you, every morning you work, and I've learned that every single morning, Marie would walk with two things. She have her lipstick in one hand and a little bottle of lotion. Because for the men, she's going to tell you, lotion your hand, lotion your hand, lotion your hand. For the woman, she's out, where's your lipstick? Where's your lipstick? Where's your lipstick? Because for her, these things, jazzing up yourself is a part of representing your brand. And we have to translate this online. Online, our customers, our clients are coming into the space and they are seeing us, they want to relate to us. They want to see us looking nice. It builds confidence in you and it builds confidence in us. It builds confidence in our brands. So we're going to have to always jazz up ourselves. We want to be early, be on time, and these are just things that we really always should take into consideration. Be on time. Don't eat during the meeting. The food is annoying, and because your mics are open, it really and truly can be very insensitive and very distracting. Mute your microphone. You're not speaking, mute. Watch your background. I choose to be on a clear background all the time. Once I'm in a meeting, that's my choice. Of course, there are other persons who like a nice, fun background. My only thing is this: with the background, ensure that you represent the brand. There are some brands who will tell you that straight up, you can't put a Christmas tree thing in the background for them. It does not go. There are some brands that have taken on, and this is something that one company asked me to do, design a background for my staff, because all staff members are now going to be using this one background when they present to anybody. Once you're using a virtual background, this is the background that the company say you need to use. This is one thing that a lot of persons have really and truly, a lot of companies have gone, and they are now auditing in that space for them. You want to always ensure that you check your information, and of course, mind your body language. You don't want to look slumped over. You don't want to appear uninterested, especially if you're in camera. You want to ensure that you're always seemingly engaged. You want to ensure that you give the presenters the energy that you would have always wanted them to get. Which brings us to the other key word in this presentation topic: audits. What gets measured gets done. Now, this is something that the good Reverend Veronica Thomas always said to me from a long time. She said, what gets measured gets done. And so these are things that I've taken right throughout my entire life. It gets measured, it gets done. So I, for one, will tell you that we need to agree on, when you're auditing, at least allow us to agree on a few things. There are a few things that people have to agree on, because taking yourself in this virtual experience, auditing becomes very, very, very important. Auditing is no longer just sitting down and checking and somebody doing the physical checks, because in the online experience, we may not be able to be in every single meeting, right? The way that in which persons are being represented and brands are being represented and the communication is being done is slightly different. So, but because we want to ensure that the standards are met, we need to first have an agreement. And a lot of this auditing is going to be self-audit. If the company has a standard, if there's a standard look and feel, if the company insists that once you're on camera, you need to be branded, once you're on camera representing the brand, you need to have a certain type of look and feel. If this is the company's brand identity, then we need to all agree on these standards. These are standards that we need to uphold. But, which brings us to the second point of audits. Because auditing is very simple, you know. Everybody needs to understand that they need to be the example. You have to be the example, because you can't be telling one person to do it or expecting it to be done by persons who are other members of your team when they are leaders, the supervisors. They are not functioning the same way. We all have to be the example to ensure that we generate a successful end result, which is going to be a seamless delivery to our customers, seamless delivery to our clients, because this is the expectation that our clients have come to represent, come to recognize that they want. That's why they keep coming to our brands, They keep coming because they expect a certain type of delivery. They expect a certain type of customer satisfaction. They expect that we are going to invest the time to relate to them well. Then we have to always ensure that we are going to always be, as leaders, as professionals, we're going to be an example. So A, we need to agree on the standards. And B, we need to be that example. And C, we need to commit to it. So even if there are sanctions, if there are sanctions, and there should be sanctions, be committed to it. Be committed to the sanction for being late, for not showing up, and not representing the brand in the way that the brand needs to be represented. Find out from Mary Jane and Tom Strokes why they were off camera for the meeting. Find out. Take the time to have the conversations to ensure that the brand representation is kept to a certain standard, because whatever standard we're putting out there, this is how our organizations are going to see us. This is how our customers are going to see the organizations going forward. So we have to ensure that the brand representation is always going to be paramount. We have to audit it. We have to put some time and energy behind it to ensure that we take the time. And I spend time with audits because it is something that I believe personally very, very important, especially working in this new environment. The value of audits, sometimes managers can see if persons are attending like too many meetings, and a lot of persons have complained. I worked with an organization that people complain and say, "Boy, their meetings have absolutely tripled." She said, I hear staff members, and it's not that people are complaining, because it is a way in which it's one of the ways in which the organization has chosen to connect. It's one of the ways in which the organization is actually ensuring that people know. And so they see it from a management perspective. We're looking at it, you look at it as, we want persons to know. We want persons to understand what is happening in the organization on a daily basis. So because of that, we have a meeting. And so you find that instead of me walking down the hall, we're now meeting on Zoom. So one meeting runs into the other meeting. We have to watch those things. We have to watch the screen time. So in auditing, you may want to look also at the amount of persons, the amount of meetings that you have in any given day, the amount of time that you spend on screen. Also, in auditing, we get a chance to manage the efficiency across the organization. And when we talk about the efficiency, we want to talk about the amount of downtime that you're going to give persons to actually perform the task that they need to do. This is also a big complaint that you find right now, that persons are saying, I spend so much time in the meetings that I have so little time, that I'm spending a lot more time away from my family time. No, I have to now play catch up to get the job done, or to action these things that need to get done, because I've had, for the one thing that needs to get done, I've had 6 meetings. So these are things that we have to really and truly take stock of as professionals, and especially as managers within the organizations. These are things that you have to look at to ensure that you can get the best out of the people around you. Remember that we have to function with the people, the processes, and the technology, because that's the framework that's going to help to hold our business to a really great standard, right? And keep our businesses functioning as how we want it to. But so we have to ensure that the processes that we have now put in place are going to be efficiently working, and the people don't get burnt out and don't get annoyed, don't feel overwhelmed that the technology has taken over. So we want to really and truly ensure that we manage the efficiency across the organization so that people really and truly can feel that, boy, no, there is a seamless integration between the people, the processes, and the use of the technology. The other thing is that we want to ensure that work-life balance is being maintained. It is important to maintain a good work-life balance. Good work-life balance is important because we want to ensure that our team members, they don't feel the stress. Everybody is feeling a little bit different. And no matter how much, it is that we say, boy, we pivot, we balance, we are now working through it. Different persons are dealing with their response to this new normal in different ways. So we have to, as organizations, audit to ensure that we positively impact the work-life balance of our human resource. So a few things that we can help to improve our ethics, etiquette, and etiquette in the virtual space. One, easy one, we can try virtual backgrounds. And I love this. I saw this ad it's from Smart Solutions, and what it is, it's a privacy screen, but it also doubles as a virtual backdrop provider. So because it's a green screen, the backdrop holds better on it. Even if you're using once the virtual backdrop hits it, it frames you better on that green screen, right? So these are things that once your company is okay with it, and even the green screen, it's a very nice plain green screen. So if you just want a nice plain background to use, that's something that you can use from there. And it just fits, it comes in a really small pouch, pop it right out, and you can just put it up right behind your chair. Organize your time wisely. We have a lot of time at home now, and we're working from home. There are things that we still have to do for ourselves personally, but we need to organize the time. And especially working with the curfew hours as they are now, sometimes you really and truly have to tweak a day to get things done, right, for yourself. Once you're sharing, close other tabs on the screen. You don't want to be sharing and share the wrong information, especially in a group where you may have other persons. I mean, it has happened. And another big one I can tell you is when you're responding to information in this new environment and in any environment, double check if the information, the return persons you have, because people may have been copied on in the trail that you have, and not everybody in that trail needs to be copied, needs to be responded to with the information that you have to share. Remember that we have to be very cognizant of these things. And sometimes, if you mess it up, apologize, quickly fix it. Because information is precious. Information and protecting people information is something that we have to ensure that we always try to do. Be very aware of your surroundings, and of course, watch your tone and your grammar once you're online. Ensure that your security features, you check them. So don't just forego the update because you don't want to shut down your computer. Ensure that those security updates are done for your machines. Ensure that you're social media savvy, because everybody needs to understand that this is a part of protecting your personal brand and also protecting your organization's brand. People are reaching out to you now. People are reaching out to all of us in the social space, because I had a problem now. I have a problem now, and somebody said to me, "No, man, just WhatsApp them because we have their number," and they're willing to send you the number. Link them on Instagram. Just find them on Instagram and they will respond. These are things that you have to understand, that people are reaching out to you on Instagram. They're looking at you on your Instagram page. They're looking at your Facebook page. We're following you now on Twitter. We want to hear. We look for you on Instagram, on your LinkedIn page. So these are things that you have to really, especially functioning in this new environment. This is how our customers, our clients, these are how people connect. Big thing that I would love for us all to do is ensure that we practice 2020 rule. 20 seconds, look up, look away, walk away, around. I mean, ensure that you give yourselves a break. Take a little break during the day to ensure that you are functioning well, but to give yourself a little bit of downtime from the screens. We did that training. We tried to put all of these things in a really great training program that was done for the BDMS group. It's called Leveling Up Your Online Customer Service, your Online Customer Experience Program, and it's about improving. So we look at modules like your digital etiquette, operating ethically, brand development, and the marketing difference, the relationship between your brand and the corporate brand, how we're integrate. It's now everything is now being, the lines are being slightly blurred, and of course, techniques that we can use to actually measure both online in the virtual space and how we can actually measure ourselves to ensure that our performance is being well done and we are carrying well and presenting well and representing well in the virtual space. My summary is easy. And my presentation, I trust I was able to make time because that was something that I'm really always concerned about, ensuring that I stick to the time. My summary is simple and it's very clear. One, this topic was such a unique topic and such a great topic to be asked to speak on. How we are going to improve, because providing each other with proper net etiquette is something that is important. But we went in this virtual space, the Jamaica Customer Service Associates and the Jackson brand, they went and asked a little bit more. They want us not to just understand that proper etiquette is great, but they want us to look at what we need to do. Do it ethically, do it with etiquette, and of course, ensure that you measure it. So we always want to be striving to, I say, strive to do the right thing. Do it elegantly. Do it with style. Keep that same flair that your organization is known for. Ensure that you translate that same passion that you would have had. Translate it online. Translate that real sense of pride that you have in the organization, that the organization has come to bring forth. Let your customers feel it in the online experience. You have to do it. And of course, ensure that as business professionals, as the supervisors and as agents ourselves, we measure it. Do the self-measurement. Ensure that you know that if you can't remember everything that needs to get done, do your checklist, basic checklist. Check off and make sure, so boy, the face look great. And your tie straight, or if you don't want to wear a tie, you have your branded shirt on. These are things that we have to do our self-checks for. Ensure that your equipment is working correctly. Take the precautions that are necessary to protect and secure person's information, because in doing so, you protect yourself and you protect the organization. Ensure that we always show an appreciation for branding, or online presence, how we deliver, or speech, or voice, or diction, grammar. These things really count. And I always want to tell you, be specific. In the online space, ensure that don't make it stretch too long. Don't stretch it. Be deliberate. Be specific. Be very, very aware of the surroundings. Be aware of how you communicate, how you deliver, how you're received by persons in that space. Sometimes you have to do a little practice and do a test run. Sometimes you have to do a dry run. Because the fact of the matter is that your aim, our aim, my aim is always to give the best delivery that I can each and every time. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust I didn't go over time. I thank you all for listening. I thank you all for, I've not seen the chat, so I don't know if anybody has even commented in the chat. I trust the information that I've shared you'd find useful. And that I don't know what the word for 2021 is going to be, but I can tell you that the word for 2020 was pivot. Pivot. The word for 2020 is going to be, the word for 2021 is going to be the fact that, boy, we have really accepted this new normal and we have overcome. I thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you that, I mean, the speakers were going to be dynamic, and Mr. Thomas, you really lived up to that. You said you're unable to see the chat, but the feedback that's there, you have really given us some tips that we can learn from. You said we need to set an agenda, be engaged, be present, and not only to look to protect the organization's brand, but even more importantly, brand you. Yes, brand you. What is measured gets done. What is measured gets done. So we want to thank you. Thank you so much for the insights that you've shared with us. And we want to certainly put into practice all of what you've said in terms of how important ethics is, etiquette, in everything that we're doing. All right, so I want to really say thank you, and certainly you can take them in the question and answers. Guys, we don't want to get caught with our pants down. We're pivoting, right? And we're leveling up. All right. Thank you so much, IXESROY. So much.
You're very welcome, Francine.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
At this